I thought I'd do a little something on oil prices. Right now, we have this rather hilarious sort of thing where oil is trading at negative numbers. I'm not going to try to go into all the reasons for why that is, but there's supply issues and so on that end up with people that are kind of hanging out, and so they end up trying to give away the oil just so they don't lose so much. Well, okay, we all know the reason for it. The virus has come through and caused all sorts of havoc with supply chains in oil. This has happened before. 9/11 was a really obvious one where you were buying fuel for far less because they figured this stuff out years ahead. Okay, I'm kind of snickering. Us electric car guys kind of snicker about this stuff. Will it have an effect on the purchase of electric cars? I'm not sure it makes that much difference. People buy electric cars for a number of reasons. I bought mine because I'd already built an electric car, and I wanted one that would actually go a little bit farther, more than 25 or 30 miles, as mine would. But one issue is I could afford it at the time, and I wasn't real interested in burning fossil fuels like I had all my life. I thought maybe I should give a little bit back. And they're really cheap to operate. It does not pay for the car. It's definitely not going to pay for the car. But when I can take a trip where I go maybe 4 or 5 miles out and 4 or 5 miles back, and it costs me less than a quarter, yeah, that's cheap operation. But it isn't. I don't think it's cash money so much. I think the reason most people buy an electric car may be not the reason they buy their second electric car. Because once you own one of those things and you get over the range anxiety and whatever else, the thought that electric cars don't have any power, I'm not sure where that came from unless you were driving golf carts or something. But these cars are really good cars. I've got a 2018 Bolt, and the range is fine. I mean, I could ask for 300, I could ask for 400. But batteries are still quite expensive, and so you're probably not going to get that for a while yet on the cheaper cars. But the car performance is excellent, better than any gasoline powered car I've ever owned. There's something about driving the things. They're really a lot of fun to drive. They don't even have to have good suspension. They'll still corner like heck because it's got a battery that's 8 inches off the ground and it weighs 1,000 pounds. Potentially, service on these things is almost non-existent. They say change the brake fluid. I can't remember what the period is, but I never use the brakes. I mean, almost never. The brakes are probably used more for traction control than anything else. I always do one pedal driving. It just makes sense to do it that way. So I think once someone gets involved with electric car, let me give an example besides me. My daughter looked at my Bolt and she says, I think I'm going to buy an electric car. she drove my Bolt. She says, well, I really like these cars. I think this is going to be what I'm going to buy. So she lives in California and got back down to California. And California, Southern California, is Tesla City. They're all over the place. And she looked at a few Teslas and she says, I think I want that one. And they have, it was a Tesla Model 3. Doesn't have supercharging that's free. But the Tesla makes offers all the time. And they offered 2 years of free charging. And so that made her go for it. I don't think that gal is ever going to buy anything but an electric car. And she keeps her gas cars for 10, 12 years. That stupid thing is going to last her as long as she wants a car. Now, repairs, I'm sure, are not cheap on them. But if electronics are designed well and tested well, they have a very long life. And so you may be seeing cars out there that do everything that you want a car to do without all the hassle of oil changes and all the other crazy things you have to do with gasoline-powered cars. And they're simpler. The drive components are simple but complex. They're simple in design, but complexity is in the electronics. So potentially these things could have very long lives. And so I don't think that really the price of fuel is going to make all that much difference. I think it's probably going to be, why didn't I do this before? So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, low oil prices will that affect? It may affect some first-time purchasers, but once someone buys one of those cars, I think you're going to find that they're pretty happy with the car. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that.